So what I want to talk about or try to do is how to verify a Thai woman. Probably anybody overseas, really. I mean, I'm gonna probably end up saying some things that people don't like, but my intent will be to not make like fluffy content. It'll be my attempt will be to make something that'll help a guy that he's in maybe potentially some trouble. The first thing I guess I always ask is like, where did you meet the lady? Like, if you met him at a bar or a massage parlor, I mean, you got to think more about these things. That's just it does work sometimes, but man, the odds are 20 to 1 against at least, maybe 100 to 1. That's a terrible idea. And there's so many nice ladies here. I had a lady serve me my Burger King last week, and then yesterday at the Chuk Chai Farm, just a stunning young lady. Like looked like you can sense kindness from a person. She just looked like a really kind, nice, sweet person, you know. And she served me my hamburger. You know, I mean, that's way better than finding somebody on the internet with a profile picture of all these fake things that she's supposedly building this fake life with to lure you in. You know. But at any rate, so the first thing I would say is location. Where'd you meet? Where, you know, and then the second thing is their age. How old are they? And if they're way, way, way younger than you, it's a red flag. I mean, Fawn's 22 years younger than me, and I have and continue to put an enormous amount of work in. And in fact, I'll throw the clip in at the end of this, or I've kind of mixed in with her and her friends, and been pretty well accepted, you know. But I did it by choice because it's fun and interesting, and I like the people and I like the culture. But that still represents a lot of work that 99 out of 100 guys don't do. That'll just tell you. And that's your choice. You can make a choice, and that's fine. And then, so if she's a lot younger than you, that's really because why? You have to ask why. Why is she picking you? She can pick all these other guys that are younger and more handsome and can still support her. Why is she picking you then? You know, we have to take an honest look at ourselves. I had a guy came to me about this, and I thought he was like in his early mid 60s. I pegged him at like 63. And he goes, yeah, I'm 48, but I'm a young looking 48. And I'm like, shit, dude, you're the hardest looking 48 I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we have got to turn the internal Superman ego off and take a hard, realistic look and go, you know, geez, you know, I only really look so good, right? I mean, you can't, if the guy looks like a bag of dog food compared to the smoking hotness young lady, you have to start to be concerned that you're money only, that women tend to marry up. I get that, but there's a limit, right? And they're going to typically want to marry up with someone that's good looking. Last night there was two guys that are good dancers and kind of handsome. And when they were doing their moves, I was like, dang, those guys got some moves, you know. And I noticed several of Fawn's friends, you know, really checking them out. I mean, women like a guy that looks good. I don't know I'd hate to burst anyone's bubble with brand new information here, but you need to pay attention to that. So how do you look? How old are you today? How do you look? How do they look? Man, you've got to throw that into the equation. And then what do they do for a living? The next thing is their job, because men, our jobs define our lives much more than women, but still, a job's a big deal. So do they work or not? Do they not work and have the newest iPhone? Just tell me she doesn't work and she has the brand new iPhone. I'll tell you 80% she's a scammer. We can skip the rest of this video. Like one lady I dated here, same time I was dating Fawn, she was a durian farmer. And then her family farm wasn't making enough money. She took a job at the local garden center. Wore her little tan apron, super cute on her. She was, I said this in another video. I mean, I broke up with her because she was just too young and pretty. I couldn't justify it in my head. There's no way I could bring her to my children. I have enough trouble with a fresh divorce as it is. I don't need to throw any more nails in my own coffin, okay? You know, but she was doing the right things, you know, and she was in a bit of a pickle, and there's a reason where she might accept an older guy, but it was just too much. And half the time, Fawn's too young. I mean, honestly, if you're a 60-year-old guy like my average viewer, look at like 40 women 45 and up. That's plenty young. That's plenty. Half the time, women don't age hardly at all. I mean, they're 50 and they look frickin' fantastic. So just a thought. But look at their job. And is it a legit job at a garden center helping out their family? Or is it tending bar? I mean, those are two different personalities. The women that I dated wouldn't be caught dead in a bar. Now, I go to the Monkey Bar once in a while. Stuart, the owner, is a friend. It's a great place. Fantastic food. And the ladies I dated were all afraid to go to those places. The first almost year I dated Fawn, if I wanted to go and have some Western conversation, which is rare. I mean, I'm pretty much just enjoying my immersion. But yeah, if I did that, Fawn would sit and wait in the car. And, and I said, and eventually I got comfortable with it. I mean, I can't let her control me, right? So I did that. But you get the idea. A woman that you take her to a pub and she cleans up the snooker table. Yeah, how many games of snooker did she play? Like, I get the guys like deer in headlights as I'm telling them these things. These may seem obvious. Oh, Rob, you're talking obvious stuff. Here's the problem. It's obvious to all of us when we're not in love. When we're not all googly-eyed and all hot and bothered by some, we've been neglected in a Western, neglectful, what we call here a Noi-Jai relationship, which is Noi-Jai left, right, and center over there in the West, let me tell you. So a guy coming from that's going to come here and get the first woman that looks at him is going to go, oh my God, she's the one, The next thing I would try to get into a guy's head, and I rarely succeed with any of this, by the way. I've saved a couple of guys to get out of scamming relationships, but it's my batting average is like 250 or something at best. After you've taken a look at like the geography of the situation, her age, your age, her work, her relative wealth, what she's doing, trying to account for her time, trying to account for her what she's doing all the time. If you can't really account for her time, there's all this time missing. She's almost certainly doing something unsavory. This is human nature. But then let's go to the big thing. The big thing is the social media. Because saving face, as I said in a recent video, saving face is one of the absolute biggest, most important things in this culture. That rude European couple I mentioned at the end in the bonus footage, they had potentially caused our whole group to lose face. And so that's why so many people came to me and asked if they were wrong or not. And I said, no, we're not wrong. You're not wrong. They were wrong. Saving face is big. And so a Thai woman will be under a lot of pressure and typically will put an enormous amount of stuff on social media. What you want to do is most guys find their Facebook account and go, okay, got our social media. Nope. You got to look at Instagram. TikTok is the big one. There's probably others. I'm not a social media maven of any kind. But generally where I see guys get their heart broken is Instagram and TikTok. It seems to be like Facebook is the most public, then Instagram, and then TikTok is kind of like the secret sauce. That's the real deal down there. That's just the trend that I generally see. So now this is hard. This is hard to tell, but you have to look at the photos. Do they look too pretty? Are they composed? Often a woman who's monetizing herself, I'll just put it politely, will have an assistant, a friend, helping her with all her photos and stuff. There'll be it's kind of like the Sith. There's always two. There's the senior and the apprentice, or whatever they called it in those Star Wars movies. So you'll find that the assistant gets pretty good at taking these photos after a while. And they're really composed. And I had one. I'm going to throw some photos in, and then I'm going to do a slideshow or something and talk over the photos. But this one lady, I almost dated her. I flirted with her online a little bit and talked with her. And then she was just so obviously a scammer, and she was kind of pretty and young and all that. But eventually I just wasn't even curious anymore. And her thing was, let's meet for a first date at the mall. She wanted to do that old. I'm like, oh, that's great, but out of curiosity and interest, I still follow her Instagram, and it's interesting. And she had one she posted recently. I think I took a screenshot of it, and I'll blur it out so you can't tell who it is. I never out anybody. I don't want to do that. It's illegal here to do, and then it's, for my own moral code, it's just wrong to do, no matter what kind of person it is. So I'll blur it so you can't tell who she is. But she's like holding her ponytail like maybe what people tell me are they're in those pornography movies. Not that I've ever seen one, but that's definitely an alluring gesture for a guy to see that photo. And she does a lot of that, and they all do. There's the scene at the beach, and they got the little wrap over their bikini, and the wind blew just right, and you see most of the bikini, and oh, look at that, and how many times did they practice that one before they got it right? If your lady's social media looks like that, I mean, that's like the red flag of death. And then if they have 4,000 male followers, red flag of death. Hey, new phrase. And then if they're commenting back and flirting back, and you can use a Thai translation app and look for the word dear. That's Tii-Rak. That usually translates in English to dear, but it means God, how would you I mean, it literally means location of love, but it's like the one I love, but like in a softer way. But it does kind of translate to dear. And Tii-Rak will be a big flirty word. You'll hear that a lot. And if she's got Tii-Rak all the way down her thing, you can look up that word and find it. If that's all over her social media, just frickin' move on. They're funneling. They'll use one account to get you kind of guys interested, and then they'll, hey, move over to my more private channel, and then they'll, and then, hey, let's go out on a date, and you're seeing some of that when you blunder into various of these social media accounts, and they may have a lot of these ladies. I'm noticing too recently. Oh, come on, guys, keep it down. A lot of these ladies I'm noticing are having multiple accounts on one platform. So Facebook, they'll have 2-3 names and accounts. One will have public friends, and it's all public. Their mom and dad see that one. The other one, if you find it, it's all private. It's all locked. Oh, gee, I wonder what's going on there. If you don't know all her social media accounts, you don't know her. If you can't account for all her time and everything she's doing, you don't know her. If you found her at an unsavory or questionable location of any kind, you really don't know her. I'll tell you, in Thailand, doubt means don't. Anything that you're just slightly questionable on, you want to pull the ripcord out, you're done, you're gone. This is not the place to be blundering along blindly as most of us tend to do. I look at it this way. I was an aggressive guy. I was a small business owner, small business entrepreneur, and independent private inventor. Really, really rough way to make a living, but I loved it. No regrets, had a ton of fun, got incredible memories. But I took massive risk. And now, like with my investments and things, everything is more conservative. My whole anything that's of any kind of risk, I don't want it. I like sleeping at night. My sanity and sleeping at night mean a lot to me. And so you want to have that same mindset here. Overseas, where you have virtually maybe no real friends. I have a handful of real friends after 4 years here. But again, I speak the language. I speak, read, and write Thai, and I've put the effort in. I've always tried to be one of those guys who, when I have a friend, you got to be a friend. But I'm also picky. I'm picky. I'm quick to cut bait if someone's a little wonky, gets a little weird. I'm like, nah, I don't need that, because the old Rob used, oh, hey, they're a little weird sometimes, but it's okay. Then holy crap, and then I get burned. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. So I play everything conservative, and I strong recommend you play everything conservative. And the most conservative thing you should be playing is your relationships. You want to find people in good locations. Look for that vibe of kindness. These are kind, sweet, honest people. They're terrible liars because they're so honest. Find one of them. That's like 98% of the population or something here. We tend to date the 2% black-hearted ladies because they look good and they got a sexy tattoo up their thigh or something. And man, I really don't recommend that. I mean, everybody does what they want, and it's all fine by me. That makes not a hill of beans difference to me. But the guys that are happy, all my friends that are happy, all have somebody like Fawn. Something to think about. So the first answer is, if you got a lot of questions and you're nervous and wringing your hands and gnashing your teeth over this lady, you already know that you've chosen poorly and you need to move on anyways. And I've never had a guy come to me with questions about his lady that turned out it was all about nothing. It's always about something real. It's never happened the other way, not once. So there's another thing too. Doubt really does mean don't hear. There we go. And I'll end it here, and then I'll pull up the slides of those ladies. I'll obfuscate them really well, and which is a pain in the neck. I'm terrible at all this digital crap, but I'll do it. And then I'll throw this together, and we'll have a deep discussion on social media and photos. There's a lot you can determine from a photo. It's amazing what you can tell from a photo. All right, bye. So here are some good social media examples. These will just be snapshots of Fawn. This is at a Halloween dinner. Had a very nice time with her and a bunch of her work friends. And this was from our trip to Laos. Again, look at the attire. Look at that. Yeah, she's cute and great and all that, but there's nothing really sexy going on here. Even here, where she's showing a little leg, there's no cleavage. She's entirely fully clothed. There's nothing overtly sexual about the posing. These are normal pictures. And here is typical Thai attire. She's completely covered. I've never seen a traditional good Thai woman show cleavage or like short shorts or anything like that, not even once. So this is an actual overt advertisement. Now what we'll want to do in the upcoming photos is we'll look at some covert advertisements and help you suss out for yourself if a lady you're interested in is selling herself online in one form or another. But this is an actual ad. These are all over social media, and obviously, for goodness sakes, if you find your lady with something like this, then you might want to move on. And here I'll start the covert social media advertisements. Just keep in mind, these are all people that claim to not be selling themselves online, but I know that they are, okay? The innocent beach shot is real common technique. The casual cleavage shot, of course. There's the ponytail grab. I'm going to not comment on that any further. And then this next lady, honestly, I don't know her, but this is an example of more overt kind of a thing in my opinion. This one, if you don't think this is an overt offer for sex, then I don't know what to tell you. Um, it's amazing. I'm seeing more and more and more of this all the time now. Well, I want to cut in for a sec. First off, just let's get the haters out of the room so you and I can deal with all that. This is in no way any kind of judgment. Oh, Rob's so judgmental. Look at him looking at all these ladies saying bad things. Look, everybody can do what they want, and it makes no difference to me, or to anybody else, what one person decides to do for their life, or how they decide to earn money, or what path in life they want to take. I mean, I have a lot of pity and empathy for a lot of the ladies that I've run across that do very bad things. That isn't the point at all for this. The point is, if someone's going to lie to you and say they're not doing exactly what they are doing, and they're doing all of this specifically for the purpose of deceiving you and stealing money from you, well, I don't think that's a good thing. But ultimately, that's a guy's choice to engage in that relationship, which is, again, fine by me. What I'm trying to do here with almost everything on my channel is show the lifestyle that's possible, show an alternate way you can retire versus going to one of the tourist towns and just doing that whole thing, whatever that all might be. You can do all that. Some guys prefer this, but they're not sure how to do it. As I say many times in my channel, this is a lot more difficult. It's a lot easier just to stay a tourist, speak English only, go and just whatever girl gives you her attention, hang out with her for a while until things go sour, and then you find another girl and you go to a different bar. And hey, that's fine by me, because honestly, the more people that do that, there's less people out here bothering me. So I mean, that's not the point. The point is, some guys want this. They're not sure how to do it. It's not easy. It's really easy once you get past all the barriers of entry, but those are fairly steep. And I try to help a guy navigate that if that's his choice. And now the main point, now that the haters have all left, there's this duality to all this, and that's where the guys that come to me heartbroken, upset, unsure, wringing their hands. I've had guys tell me they were extremely, extremely upset over this. And you do get foreigner suicides are at a very hard to get that data because it tends to disappear for some reason. There seems to be a statistically significantly high expat suicide rate in Thailand, and the thinking is that involves women and money mostly, and drugs. But a lot of that's women, which that potentially is avoidable. The drug problem I can't help you with. But so there's this duality that's very difficult for a guy that's unfamiliar with this culture to see or understand, even though it exists. And you'll have these ladies really holding themselves out and pretending to be one thing when really they're an entirely different thing. And And if you're not familiar with the culture, and you go, wow, she's this good Isan lady, and I was just with her, and she was wearing a mini skirt, and she had her hot pink painted nails, and her just got her hair dyed, platinum blonde, and we were walking down there, but we were both a little drunk. I mean, all of those are a red flag. Now, if your lady has painted nails, hey, great. She's got colored hair, hey, great. They can just buy into the Samaimai culture, the modern culture a little bit. Not one thing wrong with that. If they're claiming to be village and they're doing that and 10 other things that aren't village, at some point you need to assess for yourself, are they really this village Isan traditional lady that you're really interested in, or are they in fact a scammer or some other kind of black-hearted gold digger social climber, a dong cho, a hai so do a eng, one of those people. A lot of that here. A lot of people. It's interesting, and this only recently dawned on me. There's foreigners here, resident foreigners like myself, and there's the Thai women, all living these super fake versions of their lives, which a lot of it ends up on social media, or if it isn't on social media, it's told through various brags at the local expat pub, and I want to emphasize every long-term friend that I trust that I've had here that has spent significant time in a tourist area have all told me the exact same really weird and specific story that you wouldn't think. So it can only be true that the overwhelming majority of guys that choose to live in these tourist areas sort of, how do you say it? They sort of wrap themselves in this cloak of self-aggrandizement. There you go. And everything is how they were a big deal back in the world, and they're still a big deal here, and they got 5 hot babes on the line, and it just goes on and on. And I hear this. It's a very specific thing to say that these very common for a guy to completely confabulate his past, who he is, his education, his work experience, his marital status, reasons for his divorce, everything, just everything about themselves. They'll make this complete fake life up for whatever reason, and then you get women here that will, and I know many of them. Some of them have really hurt Fawn in the past. They just care about duty, looking good. They need to. I'm not going to teach you the word because there's nothing how good will happen from it. But some of the Thai words for saving face are pretty interesting, and that's all they're interested in. Showing that face to the world seems to be the most important thing to them. I can tell you when some of my friends' marriages were going south. One thing that some of the guys told me, it was weird, they all told me the same thing again, kind of weird, that their soon-to-be ex-wives, all they cared about was posting stuff that made them look good on social media. I mean, why would that be more important than your actual marriage? Why would you but it becomes like a sickness to all of us. It's like an infection, right? And I've cut my social media time way down. I find it unhealthy. I share through this, and just so you know, this is most of the talking I do in a day is on this channel. The rest of the day I listen, I hear what the Thais are saying. The people that know me know I understand what they're saying. If I go somewhere running an errand, they may not know me, and I don't. It doesn't matter, but I know what they're saying. Kind of interesting. If I choose to pay attention, most of the time I don't pay attention. And I'm by myself most of the day, running errands, buying little things I need. I was looking for a certain bolt and a nut for the rear fender on my motorcycle. I wanted it a certain way. And of course, I needed a stainless bolt just right so it looks really cool on the bike. Little dumb things like that I find enjoyable. And my choices have worked out well for me, but it was a painful, long, and partly ugly road to get here. Hopefully my channel helps a guy navigate at least some of the potholes. I just helped a guy get out away from a scammer, and he went back to her 2 or 3 times because of the loneliness, because you get addicted to the attention, the love bombing. It's addictive. And now here's a funny punchline. Most of the pain you're going to get here socially, it's going to come from other Westerners. Once the stuff with the women is settled and you kind of figure out how to navigate dating, your big problem here is going to be otherwise. It won't be the Thais won't bother. They're nice people. Other than the scammers and the gold diggers and the liars and the cheaters and the stealers, once you get them out of your life, which is a tiny percentage of the population that's just unfortunately really adept at dealing with us because they have experience in sometimes even casual and even formal training in a brick and mortar school. There are such places here. They do exist. They're rare, but they exist. After that's all settled, it's the other foreigners. Just weird people in your life will give you weird problems. You know, guys stiffing you on a bill, guys mooching money off you. Oh yeah, wait till you see. That's very common. One foreigner to do to another here, very common. Never talk up any personal information about yourself. Don't reveal anything. Think of it like you're about to be arrested. Everything will be used against you. Everything you say will be used against you. So be very limited with information you share. This easily puts the Ben & Jerry's rum raisin to shame. It doesn't hurt that it was served by the absolutely most beautiful and likable counter service person for ice cream I've ever seen in my entire life. She handed me my cone, or was in the process of handing it to me, and I go, but no, just a minute, I don't have a hand, because I had like my little bag of the other stuff she sold me. Praise God she wasn't selling Mercedes, because I probably would have bought one of those too. But now I can show it. Chok Chai Farm in Pak Chong, or near Pak Chong. I think it's in Pak Chong. Legendary place. You have to come here at some point. Killer burger, supposedly really good steaks, and then insane ice cream. It's a dairy and cattle farm. Famous in Thailand, like maybe the most famous. Obligatory cute casual picture of fawn. There's the room we were in last night. I didn't take any pictures. It just wouldn't be fair. But I had a really nice time with Fawn and all her work friends. Everyone was really nice and respectful, considerate of me. I had this would be like bonus content or something, but a couple, I think a young European couple came, and we were having this big celebration and work and stuff, and they complained, said that our whole group was rude, and then left. There's an example of what not to do in a foreign country. Don't show up, do took an entire group, and then, leave or what. I mean, whether they left or not didn't matter, but that was pretty rude. Several people asked if they were wrong. I said, absolutely not. No, those people were wrong to do that. We're in a big banquet hall with a booked celebration, and they chose to have a quiet dinner. Actually, chose to sit at the table behind me. Yet, that's called poor location selection. When in Rome, it doesn't mean do whatever you think you should do from your home country. But I was happy to help, but say, hey, no, you guys we're all good. We're good. They're wrong. And everybody liked that answer, and that was a sincere answer. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you've watched this far, please consider hitting like and subscribe.